Well, I think we are live, ladies and gentlemen. And China is a shining gem like a diamond sparkling for the world to admire. That is one of the first comments that I got in my comment box today. And everyone, my wife said to me, don't be so serious today. Just relax. So we got a pretty cool panel for today's show. Gweilo 60 is in the house from Nanning.
Good morning, everybody.
Alex Absolute from, where are you from, Alex?
I am from England, Bristol.
And where are you in China, sir?
Oh, sorry. My bad. I was still switching off the live stream on my YouTube thing. I am in Wenzhou, just below Shanghai.
And new to today's event is Nico from China.
Guys.
What part of China are you coming in today from, Nico?
I'm from Beijing. I'm in Beijing, the capital.
All right. So we got an interesting topic today, China's awesome infrastructure. And I'm going to start this off with, of course, Gweilo 60. Kirk, tell us, sir, you were walking the streets of Nanning with some skyscrapers in the background. That's the first time I've seen you doing that. What was that all about? A little pre-show hype or what?
Well, I always try to hype our live streams with a video prior to just sort of let everybody know what we're going to be talking about, or basically what I'm going to be talking about, because everybody else has a different sort of perspective. Where I come from, Nanning just turned into a tier 2 city. A lot of people say it's a tier 3 city. No. Check your sources, guys. It turned into a tier 2 city last year, and the growth, the infrastructure that we're going through right now is phenomenal. The high rises, the subway systems, they're working on, just in the last couple of years, they put in 3 subway routes, and they've got 2 more on the roll right now. The bridges, the high-speed trains, they're turning Nanning actually into a bigger and bigger city, and you can see it right before your eyes. When I started coming here in 2003, there was very few high rises in this whole city, and it was a lot smaller. Now they've got a new area of Nanning, that all of the city hall and the government buildings and the sports centers and this new area of Nanning City is 200 square kilometers. This is what they're building right now in Nanning City, plus all of the other things around the city in the older areas and rejuvenating other areas. That's basically what I was talking about, and we'll get into more of that later. Off to you, Alex.
Well, Kurt, you mentioned tier 2. Maybe explain to all the viewers today what all these tiers mean, because a lot of people that are coming into this feed today are from, Western parts of the world, and not everyone that's tuning into us today is from China. But just before I get to that, everybody, if you could hit that like button, what that does is that ignites the algorithm on YouTube. It scoops up some viewers for us and brings everyone in. So click the like button. And also, this panel is all below you in the description box there. You can subscribe to every one of our channels, Reporterfy Media, of course, Gweilo 60, Alex Absolute, Nico, China on YouTube. And we have waiting in the background Patrick Freeman, because Patrick has insisted that he wanted to come into the show today, and I think he duly deserves it. He's got some freaky food that he's going to show us after his interesting little egg event last week. Everybody said, bring this guy back. We want more, we want more, we want more. So we did that. So, Kurt, just a question before we continue on with the panel to Alex. What do you mean by tier 2? What does that mean?
Well, you look at the cities like Beijing, like the huge monstrosity cities, like where Nico lives. Beijing is well, everybody knows Beijing, and Shanghai and Guangzhou and Chengdu and places like this. They're like mega cities. They're considered the state of the art. The population is really big. The tier 2 have developed, but they're not to that level yet. And then you get the tier 3s that are still developing. A lot of the tier 3s don't have subways. They're still using buses to transport people around. It's basically showing the population and the infrastructure of that particular city, and how far along in their development they are.
Okay, so thank you for covering that. And we got you a little bit of a freeze going on with your camera. Try to fix that if you can, Gweilo. Just want to say hello to a few people coming in from my feed here. Hello, Mikhail Ponte. Wow, he's up already. 2 hours of sleep. Well done, sir. Hello to Ken, Liam. Hello, Dr. Death. Silverlight 983, hello to you as well. Maybe if everybody can in everyone's chat forums can tell us where you're all from, that would be very helpful. And what you must remember is we have 4 separate and at times 5 separate channels streaming into this live stream. So if you see some comments being highlighted throughout the show or some super chats highlighted and they're not on your channel, that means they're either coming from Gweilo's channel, Alex's channel, and all that. Thank you, Mikhail Ponte, for that. So Alex, I'm coming around to you now. Tell us what's going on in your area about infrastructure projects and stuff like that, and while you're doing that, Wesley, if you could pull up one of the I guess we have a scene of this is just awesome. This just gives you an idea of, China's motorways throughout the country. And for you who are not familiar, this is a country that makes 8,000, I repeat, no mistake there, 8,000 kilometers of new highway a year. And to give you the extent of how long that is that's one end of Canada to the other. That country builds it in 1 year. Pretty extraordinary. So that's a little photo there of some of the infrastructure projects. Alex, I'm over to you now. Tell us about what's cooking where you are.
Yeah, so here in Wenzhou has changed phenomenally, and I've only been here coming up 7 years, but already there's like so many areas of the city which look completely different. It's phenomenal how fast things change. Like you just said, the way people do things here, like you'd see them start building and you'd be like, oh, like it's going to be months of trying to walk around this place, and then the next day you go back and it's done. Since I've been here, they've installed the world's second largest light show, which basically you can go out on this boat. I plan on doing a video soon, as soon as tourism starts back up. But it's like mountains for kilometers, and it just lights up. It looks insane. They've also put in. We now have. They're putting in a subway. We're a tier 2 city as well. We were a tier 3, and we've moved up to a tier 2 because I think it's based not just on population, but on the amenities and the infrastructure in the city. But the problem Wenzhou has is a lot of the ground is quite rocky. So they are putting some subways in. They've already started constructing them, but they've had to think of other solutions. So they've, like right out here by my house, what makes this a really convenient location is that on one side, I've got all the wetlands, which I always go on about in my videos. And on this side, we've got this, it's like a subway, but like elevated. It's called a metro line. And it's really convenient because now I can go from my house to the train station or the fast train station or the airport super fast. And the other thing they've incorporated in the city is something called a BRT system, bus rapid transport. So it's like a dedicated bus lane that cars can't go in, and it's pretty good. Everything in the city is just climbing at a phenomenal rate. It's insane.
So I've got a question for you both, Nico and Alex. Maybe both of you can. Maybe I'm going to go to Nico on this one. If you were living outside of London, let's say on the last, I guess. What do they call how does London's in rail? Is it a railway? You take a railway in and then you get into the tube? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I wanted to go right to Piccadilly Square. Would that be central London? Okay. And then the farthest line out, how much would that cost you to take that?
Quite a lot.
What would, like each day, what would that cost you to get to work?
Well, you would probably, I don't live in London, but you'd get an Oyster card, which is like a one where you kind of get a bit of money off. But I do know that I have got like a day pass before, and it's about £9, which is about 100 kwai.
Okay.
Yuan.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So
like obviously, if you live there, it's a bit cheaper. You can do smaller, but if you went from one end of the city to the other, I think it would be pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure I looked into the the express from the airport, and it was like £25, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I can't. It was a little while ago.
So if I'm going to compare the price to get, let's say, London, big city, Beijing, big city, and we're going to compare, getting from out of town into the city center, big price difference?
Oh yeah. In Beijing, like it's probably the same sort of distance, and you could travel. I think the highest Beijing goes up to is 10 yuan.
Okay, and what would that be in pounds sterling or something like that?
That's about a pound.
About a pound. So
maybe
90% reduction there. Okay, and
everything
quality of rail. Like, what would you be taking from the tube, and what would you be taking in Beijing into the city?
Like,
similar quality.
The train is nothing. You can't even compare the trains here. The trains here, you have a dedicated seat like an airplane. The leg room is good. Even at like economy class on the train here, it's comfortable. You can fit a suitcase straight in front of you. It's nice. They have people come around that sell you snacks like on the little dollies and stuff. In England, you don't have a dedicated seat. So if you get on, and there's no, like, anybody can grab any seat. So there's no like reserved seat for you. You might, like, if you get on at a busy time, it's a high chance you'll be standing. Or if you got up to go to the toilet, someone could just take your seat. So it's a lot more comfortable here. And like you were just saying, the prices,
In London, they're really hot.
I just want to say a thank you to, we have Dr. Death. Thank you for your super chat contribution. Much appreciated. And One Crazy Nation. Great job, they say. No, great job for all of you showing up today. And that is the fun of it. I just want to let know to our moderators that are moderating all of our comment boxes. Thank you very much. And I don't mind some criticism coming in. What are you doing, Gweilo?
I got something to say about the subway system, because Nanning subway system is probably one of the newest subway systems in all of China, because they're just building it now. And I live on one side of the city, 7.3 million people actually. And last night, Wei Fong and I went all the way over to the other side of the city. It took about 17 minutes on the subway and cost me about 64 to 67 Canadian dollar cents Canadian. So the idea that it's under $1 to travel all the way across a city of 7 million people, and you can do it in 17 minutes is just phenomenal. The idea, and it's air conditioned. You go down underneath the ground, and there's shops, and there's McDonald's, there's restaurants, there's drugstores, there's all of these the amenities that they've built into the subway system. It's not just go down underneath, get on a train, and get to where you're going. It's you go down, you can go an hour early, you can stop, you can buy stuff, you can have a burger if you want, and then when you get to the other end of it, you don't have to go outside, because it's at that particular stop, it stops at the McC Mall, and it's underground right in, and you come up right into the mall. It's just the thought that's gone behind into this to get it to the point where it is. It's just freaking amazing. Like, they know what they're doing, they plan it out, and I think that's what makes it so much better than anywhere else I've seen in the world, and I've traveled just about everywhere.
Well,
just had to get that in there.
Amazing, like your camera and your lighting today, Kurt.
You like
amazing. Yeah, I love it. You look fantastic today.
That's my wife set it up.
Oh, there we go. Well, we have all great partners helping us out here. That reminds me, I'm going to go back down to Nico. Nico, tell us, I'm going to bring up a little bit later in the show a couple of your videos to show the viewers today. But, when I watch your videos, I'm getting a little bit jealous here. Who is editing these videos? What's going on? Tell us the whole story behind Nico China on YouTube.
Well, if anybody watched one of my recent videos, I actually did a Q&A about this, and I don't film and edit them, as you might have realized, because that would be super hard, as I'm quite far away in a lot of the shots. And it is my wonderful husband. In some of the earlier videos, you like saw little snippets. If you had a keen eye, you saw like his reflection in my glasses, or like in a doorway or something. And we tried to put him in a little bit, and then we thought it was about time that we introduced him to the world. So we did a big Q&A a few weeks ago where he came on and answered some questions that we had. So everybody,
I remember watching that video. The secret was out. I remember watching that video. We got a couple of donations here. One again from One Crazy Nation. Have some beers on us. We definitely will do that. And
right now,
I'm just trying to find out which channels those came in from. But big thanks. Thank you for telling the truth of my home country. Our pleasure. And as I was just going to get back to you in a second here, Nico, as I was telling the comments, the moderators in the comment box, don't worry about, holding back on some of the people that do have, a beef with China. We are an open channel. We aren't anti this or anti that. We're pretty fair and balanced right across the board. And we will try to definitely answer most questions. Now, Nico, how long does it take you and your husband from, let's say, planning a video idea and arranging it, filming it, bringing it to YouTube and out for the audience? Can you give us an idea of how that works?
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of depends on the topic. If it's something that is more of a chatty topic and we can just execute it in our house, then it won't take quite as long as, say, some of our city guides, which they take a lot of planning. Usually, if for instance, I'll tell you about the Shenzhen one, which was one of our older ones. And we were going for 4 days. So it took me maybe 2 weeks of research and planning and making a script before we even got there. And we didn't stop the whole time. But if we're making something a little bit more low key, then we usually do a lot of pre-planning so that it's easier. We did a video which we released on Monday about what life in Beijing was like here. So it took us maybe a week in total to kind of make a script, think about the shots, where we were going to film it, go out and shoot it, and then obviously edit it and release it. So we're trying to do a video a week right now, and it's hard work.
And why did you start your YouTube channel? What was the purpose for it?
We decided to start our YouTube channel because when we first came, which was like 3 years ago, we just had our 3-year anniversary. There just wasn't really that much information about China. We were looking at different cities to move to, and there just wasn't really any videos or that much that we can find. So we thought, okay, well, there must be other people in our position that are going to move to China for work, and they're going to be struggling as well. So we thought, okay, well, let's start that. And obviously it's developed a little bit more. Now I've got audience from all over, which is great. But hopefully we're still helping people that want to move here see what it's really like here.
Okay, so when you're planning a video, for example, and you're out for the day, I mean, has anything over your years of filming gone wrong? Like that has completely ruined the day of filming? Like maybe not having any, like I'll tell you what happened to me when I was in the Maldives filming. They brought me on a tour of, it was they call it a picnic island, where there's nothing out there. And I had the most amazing water, and I was getting ready. I was setting up everything. I jumped off the boat, and they said, okay, now you can walk in. It's very shallow. And I was doing kind of like a Gweilo 60 talk, talking about the water and talking about the beautiful beach. And then I got back to my hotel and plugged in the video, and the sound was completely not happening. The mic wasn't plugged in.
That happens to everybody.
I mean, has Nico, has anything like that happened to you out filming, or what's maybe some of the weirdest things in China? People on this panel that are watching, or people in the audience are watching, they probably, some of them are kind of think, can you really film in China? I mean, what's your experience filming in China?
Generally, it's been quite good. I mean, obviously, sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable, I guess, because the way we film, obviously, it looks like, I've got Jack following me around with a gimbal, so it's quite obvious that we're filming, rather than, if I just had a camera on a stick. It's not, you can kind of get away with it a little bit more because,
right.
People are always taking photos here, but it's like super obvious. So there's times that obviously we've been told not to film or not to film in certain places, but generally it's not too bad. A lot of people are just kind of curious. They just like to kind of come and have a look. But I would probably say the worst thing that kind of has happened to us was when we crashed our drone in Tianjin. Jack was debating whether he should go out and get some morning shots, and I was like in bed like, whatever, I don't even care. And he came running in and he was like, I've lost the drone.
Oh,
so
no.
I had to get up and I was like, what do you mean? So I got ready and he was like, I've lost the drone, it's in this building site. And we went across the road, and I guess what had happened is there was a building that had probably just shot up, and the drone didn't catch it on the sensor. And when they're building things, there's lots of wires that are kind of flapping around. And he said he just did it like, and then it fell into this building site. And I was thinking, oh, and all these Chinese guys are looking at us and we're looking at them, and we couldn't really say anything. So we kind of was like, and they were like, oh yeah, So they actually gave us the broken drone through this gate, and we were like, oh. It was just like, so yeah, that's probably the worst thing.
Wow. Well, we're on the subject. You have a super chat in from your channel. Maybe you recognize this name, Epic Emotion. That came in for you, Nico. Do you know that person? Are they a frequent commenter on your channel?
I don't recognize the name so much, but then there's lots of people. But I want to say thank you. That's really awesome. I feel really privileged.
Well, that's thanks for the positive energy towards China. You're welcome. So, Alex, I'm going to come back to you now. You've put a couple of videos out this week. What's been going on with you? And your channel's growing as we speak. And you hit.
Yeah, we hit 3K either last night or this morning, so that's pretty
well
good.
Done.
Good for you.
Yeah, that is awesome. I've put, like we did a collaboration with some other YouTubers, and it was like where we all answered questions about Chinese myths and superstitions, like things like why do people not wear a green hat? If you know what that means, hit me up in the comments.
I saw that.
So that was quite fun. That was quite an interesting one. I've done a few walk and talks, but I need to get back and do more. If you go back on my channel, I've kind of got. I feel like I've kind of got a little bit lazy and gone off track, because I usually do more Nico styled ones with a lot more B-roll and sort of showing the environment, and they do take a lot more work. So I was getting about one a week. So I'm gonna try and
but Jack's busy. Jack's got no time for you right now, Alex.
Poor Jack. Jack, come on.
Alex, now that we're on the subject,
Jack, is he there? Can we put him on?
Alex, now that we're on the subject, your channel has just been monetized. Did you click your super chat monetization button before the show?
I didn't realize there was one. I got the
maybe you
monetization
can check that
on.
out while we're on the show, just in case some of your viewers want to donate to you, Alex. If you can, have a look in there. It's in the super chat section.
Monetization is on, so we should be good to go.
I just want to say a thank you to Ken Wu. I grew up in China. I love the food there. I am kind of biased. How do you guys like the food there? Well, you know what? We're going to hold that, Ken, because we got the funky food with Freeman coming up here. And he's just sitting in the wings. I have no idea what he's going to bring on the show tonight. It's probably going to be a little bit gross, but what can I say? Daniel Tan has given us the super chat. Love Gweilo, Alex, and Alex as always. Cannot believe Nico is here, who broke my heart by already having a husband, but she still is the best. Hello.
I'm sorry.
Breaking hearts, Nico. How dare you?
We got another photo that we're going to bring up here, and just a big thank you to Wesley, who's managing the controls. Does anyone know what that is?
I know.
Nico, tell the viewers what that is. That is another one of China's awesome infrastructure. Just awesome.
Actually, Jack made a video about this, not for my channel, but for his work, and it's the biggest space dish in China, right? In the world.
The world's largest telescope.
Largest telescope, yeah, to see into space. And all of the panels on it are built with chains, and they all move freely, right? Yeah, right. They all move like freely around to change the direction to see where to go, to see into space.
Well, there you go, guys. That is just another piece of China's awesome infrastructure. Truly amazing. Thank you very much, Ken, for your super chat. Greatly appreciated. Wesley, I think, wants to take a skateboard on there. Might be a little bit expensive for that. Just to let you know, we've hit the 1,000 viewer mark already on the show, 26 minutes in. So thank you very much, everyone. Going to go on, and Wesley, if you can fire up another photo here, I'm just going to chat away on something that I want to let the viewers know. I was recently in Chongqing. I had managed to take the metro line while I was there, and I had started to do my research on bullet trains in China in general, and I am told that there are 2,800 bullet trains throughout the country, and my lovely Canada doesn't have one, so I'm a little bit jealous on that one there. Anyone know what this photo is?
But we do got bullets.
Anybody know what this photo is?
Well, I'm guessing it's a train station.
I would say
Wesley,
the new airport.
You cut the title off this one. Boy, what is this one? We're going to come back, and I'm going to research what that one is, but it does look like a train station. It looks like out of the sci-fi movie. Nico, didn't Beijing just open up its new airport?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I've not been yet, but it looks amazing. I really want to go. I had a friend that went just before Christmas, and he said it was like completely dead still, but it just looks so beautiful. Like what interesting piece of architecture. I'm very excited to go there, but for me, it's like quite a far away because I live in the east, so the old airport is a lot closer to me. So it would be quite a journey. I think it would take like over an hour, but I really want to go at some point because it looks absolutely beautiful.
I'm going to head over to Gweilo, and before I go there, I'm going to set you up on a little bit of a question here. Any idea, Kurt, how many babies are born in China every year?
Well, no, I have no idea. But going back to your high-speed rail, and they're not stopping with what they've got now. They've got 8 projects that they started this year alone. I think after it's all said and 8 high-speed rail projects that they're starting, and 2 airports, brand new airports that they're building, and they're spending like $191 billion on these 10 projects. For Chongqing to Kunming high-speed railway, it's 699 kilometers long. They're starting it this year. It's got 20 different stops. It stops in places like Chongqing, Lengzhou, Yibin, and Sichuan province. But this thing will be going 350 kilometers an hour and cost US dollars 20.5 billion for the 700 kilometers or 699 kilometers. And that's just one of the 8 lines that they're doing and starting this year, along with 2 airports. So when you're talking about infrastructure and building high-speed rail and fast transportation around the country, China has it in spades, I'm telling you. And how many children are born? Well, all of them. How's that?
19 million was the latest figure on how many Chinese babies were born a year.
So half the population of Canada.
Exactly.
I think a lot more this year as well after the
yes.
quarantine.
Yeah, wait 9 months.
Yeah.
We did get a super chat from Chung Cheng Lu. I hope I pronounced that right. And Luoman Wu, thank you very much. Hello from France, 3 a.m. here. I'm curious about green infrastructure in China. Would you say your respective cities are becoming greener, more parks, or grayer? Can I answer this? Do you guys mind?
Sure.
And Gweilo,
Yeah.
we're going to... Everybody
Yeah,
thinks you're so polite today, Gweilo, because you're putting up your hand. I love it. So we'll get to that. When I was in Shenzhen 10 years ago, I was in Shenzhen for a conference on, electronic. It's a buying show. They have a lot of these conferences in Shenzhen, and Shenzhen has one of the largest, we'll call it tech shows, because they are the Silicon Valley of China. I remember the clouds were a little bit gray in Shenzhen. Well, went back this year and did some videos, spent 12 days there doing a collaboration with another gentleman that lived in Shenzhen. And I looked up to the sky and I said, wait a second. It wasn't this blue when I was here 10 years ago. What's going on? And I noticed the entire city replaced all the buses. Okay. There was no diesel fuel on any of these buses. And you could see in my videos, it was kilometer after kilometer after kilometer of trees and plants and flowers. And then the taxis were also eco-friendly. It's like the whole entire city. And we are not talking a baby city here. We are talking a mega city, with the metropolis population bigger than New York in a heartbeat. And, within that 10 years, I saw a gray sky, and now I see a beautiful blue sky in Shenzhen. And for anyone that says that China is not putting their time and energy into the green, I completely disagree, at least on the last 3 or 4 cities that I've been in. We lost Nico. She'll be back. She probably just hit one of the little buttons by mistake. Gweilo, you had your hand up. Tell us, sir.
Well, it's in their planning of the infrastructure also, just for the idea that everybody says, oh, they're building so many high rises. They build up instead of out, and this leaves a lot more room to have parks. And everybody's seen the park videos that I do, the size of these parks. And living in Nanning, it's called the Green City. I would put Nanning up against any other city in the world for being the greenest city in the world, just for the fact that, well, subtropical area helps. But as they say, they took the buses, the diesel buses out. They've got natural gas buses. They've got the subway moving people where it's all done electric. They've got electric cars. They've got electric bikes out on the street that you can rent. The idea that they're moving away from gas-powered vehicles. I think Hainan, the island of Hainan, actually has a mandate, I think, before 2030, not to sell any more gas vehicles on the island, or allow gas vehicles maybe even on the island. So they're getting away from that. And I notice it here in Nanning City, where it used to be more polluted than it is now. And if you watch the video I did to promote this live stream, you can see that I'm on a bridge, and you can see miles and miles and miles away, and it's clear as a bell. It's blue skies. It's beautiful outside. So yeah, China is really getting behind this green initiative. There's still some places in Guangdong province where it's factory, and they've got some work to do. But overall, in the country, they're making great strides in cleaning up the pollution.
Alex, how about in your town, your city?
Here. Let me just first say thank you to John S. I've had my first super chat, so yeah, thanks for that, John. But here is like Gweilo said, they are putting massive efforts into the whole green thing. Like I keep doing all my videos, all these beautiful places you see in my recent videos are literally across the road from my house. It's the reason why I bought a house here. There's a kind of section, and there's like a big mixy mall, which everybody has on in their city, sort of over this side, mountains over here, and my house here. And in the middle, there's this massive area of park. And they're just currently like revamping it, turning it all into this huge area of park. It connects with another park, which is like a kind of, I always call it Wenzhou's central park. So you can go from one park to the other, and then that cuts through right down through the city here. They're putting trees in, new parks. It's the green thing is, like Gweilo said, the green thing is, or was it you? I can't remember. But there is a lot of effort going into the whole green thing, and it's really showing. Because when I first came here, if I could have taken a mental picture and shown you what it looks like then and what it looks like now, the difference is insane. They're literally putting trees up everywhere. They're making more parks. They're getting rid of buildings which look like dilapidated, and like they're sacrificing a lot of space where they could have built like a lot of big buildings to put a lot of green stuff in. And it's really fantastic. There's a lot of rooftop gardens happening. There's a lot of ingenious things which happen. They always have really interesting ways of dealing with solutions here. Like, we haven't got one in Wenzhou yet, but in Shanghai, for example, they have these kind of is it like called a vertical forest or something, where they build it up like a bit like a skyscraper, but it has all these different layers of greenery in it, and that's pretty awesome to see as well.
Just want to say thank you to Peter Ling. Thank you for organizing these video conferences. Our pleasure. This came in a super chat for you, Nico, from your channel. Thanks for your objective report on China. You guys deserve our respect. Also, a few more in. Dr. Death from my channel said, what's with China signing to build 300 coal plants? Go, Kurt. I want you to answer this one, please.
I have no idea about that. I never read up on that. So if they are building coal plants, it's probably the clean coal energy. I know that they've made mandates to get away from the dirty coal burning and stuff like that. China has, tried to get away, but you got 1.4 billion people, so you still got to deal with some of this stuff. Looking at different projects that they've done. Look at the Three Gorges Dam. My God,
oh, yeah.
It's huge. It's massive. It's one of those things that what is it? It generates 22,500 megawatts of electricity. It took them, I don't know, I think they started in 1994, and it took till, I'm not sure, full production of energy came up in 2012. It's one of those things that there was controversial issues there too, where you had displaced, 1.3 million people, towns and villages, and even some cities. But you've got to understand that it also built a waterway, a deep waterway that you could put ocean liners in there and go from Shanghai all the way up to Chongqing, if I'm not mistaken. So just the infrastructure and building electricity in cleaner ways. I know that they're doing up in Zhejiang province. They're doing a lot of mega windmill projects, but you can't get there overnight. I'm sure we have coal burning plants in places like the United States and Canada too. So dumping on China for trying to have enough electricity to run their cities. I know a number of years ago, and probably even happened this year, because they're still not right up to snuff on a lot of this stuff. They'll have rolling blackouts. This area will be blacked out at this time, and this area will be blacked out at this time. And I know, because we're in an older area of Nanning, every once in a while, and in the summertime when it's 40 freaking above, and they turn off your power for... We head to the mall. We're sort of like the Bundys. We're hanging out. We're hanging out in Walmart in the beer section with the lawn chairs.
You are. I know you are.
Well,
special thanks to Silverlight. Heads off to all you for providing a different yet honest perspective about China than most Western media. No problem, Dr. Death. We've answered your question to the best of our ability. That is
somebody else out there might know more about the coal burning plants than me. I don't pay much attention to that.
Here they're shutting them down, so I think soon there will be. There's a line outside my house which has a big train which goes up and down it like a bunch of times a day, and apparently that is now finishing. So I guess that's one less here. So
or we could go the Trump route and say fake news.
Josh, under home quarantine in Toronto for the 5th week. I hear you. Wondering how intense was the lockdown in China. I'm disturbed by the people protesting about reopening the economy. We'll answer that later in a moment. Just want to show you guys on the screen here. And Wesley, if you could keep that Josh super chat ready, because we're going to come back to it. We're looking at a photo right now on the screen of a $473 million Queenling Tunnel. It's the longest highway tunnel in China, measuring more than 11 miles underneath the Zhongnan Mountain. And as Kurt was saying, you know, when you're putting these rapid rails, these bullet trains from cities like Chongqing to Chengdu and to Nanning and all that, you're blowing through mountains. I mean, it's not just one direct line where you can, you know, go in there. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And back to the full panel. Adam, thank you very much. Greetings from Taiwan. Love your videos, Gweilo 60. Now, that question we had, Kurt, under home quarantine. Okay, you know, this is a hard one. I mean, you guys can maybe anyone in the panel can take this and talk. There we go, Alex. Take this one and tell us about quarantine and what was happening.
So for how intense it was relatively intense, because remember, for anybody who doesn't know Wenzhou, where I live, because we had so many people come back from Wuhan, I think it was like one of the really badly hit cities, not as bad as Wuhan, but as bad as cities that were neighboring cities of Wuhan. So it was pretty bad. And it kind of started off, and it kind of just drifted into it. To start with, nobody thought it was that serious. And as the days went on, it suddenly became quite serious. But overall, it was intense, but it wasn't scary. At least for me, it wasn't. It was kind of worrying, but they handled it very well. And there was no kind of, I didn't see people freaking out. Everybody was like paid attention to what they should and shouldn't have done. And it felt kind of worrying, but it was being handled like, you know, like when you're scared and some nice person reassures you and like calms you down and just reassures you. It just kind of felt like that. Everybody was very good at doing their jobs, and it was handled like exceptionally well. So it didn't, although we knew it was serious, we didn't feel like we wanted to run screaming away. It was handled pretty well.
Well, Nico, tell us, and we'll come to you, Kurt.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, well, if you go to my channel, I released like quite a few videos about this. I started at the beginning in February and showed everyone, like literally showed everyone what it was like in Beijing, because Beijing is quite far away from Wuhan, so it wasn't hit that badly considering it's like the capital. And we were still quite free to go and do things. And like Alex says, it kind of progressed into more. So you could still go out, but a lot of people just chose not to go out at all. And I know that in some other cities, they really put a restriction on like if you left your compound and things. But for me, I could go pretty freely. Eventually, I've got like a card now to go into my hutong that I live in. So people who don't live there, they can't go in there. And it was kind of one of those things where it wasn't as severe as I thought it was going to be. Like we weren't like locked in our apartments, and there wasn't this thing where like you can only go out for exercise like you can in, say, the UK. It was just kind of, people just didn't go out. They just decided that was the best thing to do. And I've kind of made a load of videos going through it. And so if you watch any of them, you'll kind of see the progress and the different things. And obviously I just released a video this week to show the difference between February and now and how much it's changed just because of all the precautions that were put in place, like temperature checks everywhere and, you know, logging your details and showing that you've done quarantine and things, and which made me feel a lot safer.
So we see progress. Just want to say thank you to a super chat from my channel. Hello, guys from Canada. This one is from my parents. Thank you for spreading positive news about China. It means a lot to us. You know, once again this week, it was a tough week. You know, we're not going to cover politics in this week's edition, but next week, get ready, because we got quite the panel next week for politics. The first part of the show next week is going to be Blondie in China is coming on. She's going to do a segment. She's got a surprise for everyone. And when she vacates the show, she's going to turn the keys over. And Who Let the Dogs Out on Gweilo 60 and Gweilo Nation. It's going to get pretty interesting in the second part of that show. I can tell you about that. But you know, just reading the comments on you know, some of my videos this week and through my community tabs, we are dealing with a country of 1.4 billion that has just been dragged through the press, the Western media, relentless. We are seeing, it is absolutely relentless what we are seeing in the media right now. So have no fear. We are here as a panel to entertain you, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Have a look at the screen. $200 million. Okay, so anyone that says out there that China does not put money into its arts, well, look at this. The Guangzhou Opera House is one of the 3 biggest theaters in China, designed by the architect Zaha Hadid. $200 million. Look at that beauty. Pretty extraordinary. Wesley, if you got some more photos, can you start bringing them up for us, just so we can show everyone about China's awesome infrastructure? And I will continue on. Anyone have a guess what Patrick is going to be doing today, guys? Anyone guess on how the funky food with Freeman is going to be? Gweilo, do you got a guess?
I'm gonna guess he's gonna eat a barbecue duck head.
No.
Well,
No.
okay.
Maybe he watched your last video. Maybe he's going to do that.
What did he eat last week?
A rotten egg, 1,000-year-old egg.
What do they call it? Century egg? Is that what they call them?
Century egg, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he ate that live on camera. I can't believe he did that. Just want to say a big shout out to everybody. We have over 1,500, about 14 to 1,500 viewers right now. So it's good to see that we're in the 45-minute mark and our viewership is accelerating on the way up. Well, I have everybody's attention here. Hit that subscribe button on all the channels. That's how you help us out. If you can't donate by Super Chat, you know, just share our videos throughout all social media. We put a lot of time and energy into them, whether it's, you know, Gweilo out there nice and early in the morning getting his content up there, to Jack working hours for Nico, and Alex Absolute making sure that he's getting all his equipment ready to rock in the beautiful part of China that he's in. Okay, so Wesley, we got some stuff. I'm going to bring it up here. $532 million. The Henan Power Grid project will get a second underwater cable that runs between the southern island of Henan to the mainland China, is stated to be completed in 2017. Already done, lock and loaded. Well done, China. And moving forward, we have some more statistics to show you guys coming up here. If Wesley can find me, let's see, I think we've shown that one. So I'm going to come out of that one, and we'll get into some other stuff here. I'm going to, I prepared a whole little, kind of like the awesome stuff that China does, you know? So here we go. 717 million railway connects all the cities and towns to the southwestern Tarim Basin. Extraordinary. You know, there was something about this. I was watching on TV last week that they were saying that, you know, this is a very rural part with the Uyghur area, the autonomous region. And the reason why China put a lot of money into this area of China, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it was trying to slowly integrate the population into this area. And it's a pretty touchy subject, you know, with having, you know, its own, trying to have its own autonomous region out there. So it's something that we'll probably look into more details on next week's show. Wesley, we're done with that slide. Thank you very much for that one. just want to now move forward. Gweilo, tell us what we can expect this week from your show. Where are you heading? Are you going total? Are you ready to go political this week for next week's show, or what?
Well, there's a couple of political ones, but tomorrow I've been invited to a barbecue with Xiaoping and his bosses. So these guys are some pretty big city folk, like as far as the city of Nanning, which is sort of nice. They invite me out for dinner in Baijiu, so I'll probably videotape that, just because I carry a camera wherever I go. But yeah, I've got a couple of political ones coming at you this week. It's the idea that Donald's making up all of these fake news. He learned how to make fake news by watching CNN and Fox, and now he thinks he's a journalist. So all of these things are going to come out Gweilo style sometime over the next week or so. And if anybody watches my stuff, it's going to be pro-China. It's going to have my spin on it, and I'll tell you what I think. And yeah, that's about it. It's so barbecues and politics and Baijiu. Could life get any better?
Just want to say a shout out to a few
Sounds
people,
like a
and then we'll
perfect
go around. And we'll go around to everyone. If you guys can look at your comment boxes, I don't know if you can have access to that, Nico, to some of the people in your channel. If not, I will say the shout outs for you. Dr. Death again, hi. Matthew, I'm reading your comment. It's easy to make positive videos if you don't pay attention to the things like coal plants. Well, we've addressed that for you, so thank you very much on that. Ping Li, hello to you. And Ken, thank you very much. Yes, lots of people. Gweilo, do you have access to your room, or is that your lovely daughter helping you moderate that?
My daughter does that. So she'll send me stuff in WeChat, but it's always not very well. She sends it pretty quickly, but by the time I get to it, you've already dealt with it. So that's fine. If they know if I had something to say, I would speak up. You know that.
I'm going to say, okay, so I'm in Nico's chat room now, and Frank Zing, hello from Nico's channel, and who else have we got? Sarah, hello. Charles, hello from Nico's channel. Top Spark, Johnny Worker, hello. Elvin D, you might know some of these names.
Yeah, I do. Hi guys.
And AK. Somebody said, "Did we have Ivanka on the panel?" Interesting. You did have another super chat come in from your channel just a minute ago there, and that is for your channel, Nico. That's come in from your channel.
Thanks, guys. Really
I
appreciate
just had
it.
one as well.
And yes, that one's for you, I believe. Is that you, Alex Absolute?
That is not me. I think I think mine's a super sticker. So thank you to Rob GTI 180. Yeah, thank you.
That could be from Gweilo's. Can you talk about the Great Tree Wall of China? The West has been blaming China for pollution for years, but not this great work. Gweilo?
Well, see, I don't. The Great Tree. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'll maybe Google it later and pick it up on another show. But yeah, the West always spouts off all of the bad things about China and never any of the good stuff. They talk about their misgivings, but they don't talk about their givings, the good things that they do. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I'm thinking that you're probably talking about what Alex was talking about, the high rises in Shanghai that are built as big like trees and shrubbery all the way up the sides of them. And as everybody knows, plants turn bad stuff into good stuff. And
what we'll try to do is we'll try to maybe see the man in control behind the scenes, Wesley, can find us something on that. The Great Tree Wall of China, as it's called, Wesley, if you can look. And thank you once again, Wesley, for helping us out here. Just going to show you guys on the main screen here we got something again, something pretty spectacular. $760 million. The building that's home to China's central TV headquarters is a loop of 6 horizontal vertical sections covering 1,551,837 feet. I mean, just wow. Staggering and just awesome. Okay, I mean, well done.
You could bungee jump off that.
Or you could fly a drone.
Totally would if they wanted.
No, you can't. Not in Beijing.
Even if you fly the one under 250 grams, it's considered a toy.
I don't know about that, but it's pretty strict here. We can't fly a drone. I think it's like inside the 5th ring. So I'm not sure about a toy one.
Everybody, if all of the chat rooms now, we've got about 1,500 people in the chat rooms, and it just once again, thank you for that super sticker from missed that one, Wesley. If you can go back to that super sticker, just want to say a shout out to that person, someone who loves burgers. Wow,
that's a great name. That's a great name.
Coffee lover, how do you guys comment on China's speed, like building a railway station in a few days, a hospital in 10 days, all those unbelievable stuff? My word is, as my wife would say when we were in Chongqing, we are on planet China. Yeah. And there's no other way of saying that. Okay, so press 1 on your keyboard if you want us to bring in Patrick Freeman now, or 2 if you'd like us to bring him in within 10 minutes. So tap number 1 to the viewers on your keyboard if you want the funky food with Freeman in here, or you want us to bring him in 10 more minutes. It's up to you guys. You guys are deciding what to do here.
May the odds forever be in your favor.
That's you, the viewers. Okay, so Ben Logic has said he wants to go. And we'll probably see. Yes, I've got some few more ones coming in. Cam Lee, thank you very much for the super chat. Cam from Australia. Why most of not all Western media bias on China, no matter left or right? Who wants this? Who wants this question? Who wants this? Somebody's giggling.
We know.
Well, you see, I think the idea here is this isn't supposed to be a political show, so I'll keep that short. I think that because China is bypassing, China's driving a Mustang, and the United States is driving, I don't even know, a moped in economic growth, and they see that China's bypassing them, and there's really nothing they can do. So pointing fingers and blaming other people for your misgivings and your inability, your incompetence, and all of these other things. I think that you get the Five Eyes countries doing the same thing. They follow the leader, as always. When you've got the big boy in the block saying everything bad about something, everybody follows along. If the big boy on the block is saying good things about everybody follows along. And I think this is what you're seeing with mainstream media, and the Americans and the Canadians will follow along, the Australians will follow along, and it's just the way it is. But it's based, I'm sure of this, it's based on jealousy, because they see China growing like freaking crazy. China has, they're always saying China has, they're going to run out of money. No, during the financial collapse of 2008 and 2009, China came and saved the United States' ass with a bunch of money. Things like this. So if they can belittle it as much as they possibly can, try to sway the view of the people watching their mainstream media, I think it's a political move, is what I think it is.
Well, go ahead, Alex.
That figure that Gweilo was just mentioning about China helping the world in the financial crisis was 590 billion, or about that. I think it was, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it was 590 billion that they launched into the market to restart the economy, and it kind of it basically helped the rest of the world and started everything back up again. So it was a big amount of money they dropped on that.
Talking about kickstarting, eh?
Oh, wow. Now I'm going to bring in Patrick Freeman, guys. Everybody flooded the comment box that they want him on here. And just so you guys, for all the viewers out there, and thank you very much, Caliber Wings, for the contribution. I've never heard local Chinese speak negatively on other countries nor political subjects, mostly minding their own business and living life. You know what? I agree with that. Something amazing about China is they just go, not looking back. And fascinating comment. And thank you very much for that, Caliber Wings. And great airplanes, by the way. Fantastic. I just want to tell you guys a little bit about the person I'm bringing into the show now. You've probably seen him last week where he ate the century egg. Well, I put a video out with him yesterday. We were in Chongqing, and the title of this video kind of managed to get picked up by YouTube's algorithm and took off quite well in the morning. Quite surprised me. It's pretty much one of my first videos that's had over about 1,500 likes in about a 6-hour time frame. But the title was called "Is China the American Dream?" That managed to light things up a bit. Well, without further ado, let's bring in the cool guy himself, Funky Food with Freeman. And you can watch the video of him and I on our site or on my channel today. It's called Is China the American Dream? It's one of my longest videos. And let's bring him in. Wesley, can you bring in Patrick Freeman, please? Funky Food with Freeman.
Hype.
Hey, what's up? Hey. I think you need to start doing it. Funky Food with Freeman. That's the way it's got to be done. Look at this. My backdrop is, oops, other side. My backdrop is showing that this is fake. Uh-oh, we better move it over, right?
Where are you, Washington? Oh, he's frozen. Well,
in the best position ever.
Yeah, that's a perfect position. Take a picture, quick.
We'll wait till he gets his feedback, guys. But I'm not kidding. He's frozen up there. We'll come back to him in a second. And Mike Boy, Gweilo, stop drinking too much baijiu before you turn to be a drunkard. Greetings from Shenzhen, China.
Oh, come on.
You can't drink too much baijiu.
It's way past that, guys. Like, I've been retired for 6 years. I'm a Canadian. I grew up drinking beer. My grandfather was a Molson rep out of the Bull plant in Prince Albert. So we had all the free beer we wanted to growing up as kids. We had a doghouse behind our cabin at Waskesiu full to the rafters of beer. We were popular people, let me tell you. And my grandfather, rest his soul, when he passed away, or until he passed away, Molson Canada would give him 8 free cases of beer a month. And all you have to do is buy it, send in the receipt, and he'd send it back. Well, it was just about 9 years after Grandpa passed away that they caught my brother and me putting in the things every month to get those 8 free cases of beer. So we sent it in one time, and they sent us a nasty letter back with my grandpa's obituary. And so this has been going on for a long time. If it hasn't killed me as of yet, it's not going to. You know what I mean? It's all in fun and games. And I may put it out there that we drink all the time and we go crazy all the time, but that's not true. I have to sleep sometimes.
Well, you've got your lovely photo up here, and this photo is for a lot of our Asian viewers here that would like to contribute and donate to us, and we do thank you. And if you do make a donation with WeChat Pay there's the code on the screen there. Let us know if that works. But if you do make a contribution, can you come on the comment box and at least tell us that you did donate? And we would love to answer your questions as well. So just come into our feeds and just say, hey, I've donated over WeChat Pay. I've got a question. And we will definitely answer them for you. So we're going to try to get Patrick back here. He was sitting ready to go and just disappeared on us. So maybe Alex, you can kind of chat behind the scenes and help me get Patrick back. If you can go on WeChat and just say, Patrick, where are you? We need the Funky Food with Freeman back on this show. Presto, as soon as possible. Just want to say hello to a few people that have joined my feed. It's interesting how our viewership gains speed here in the second hour. So we will look at these time slots a little bit later to see what makes sense. Here's a question. Matthew, you got some interesting questions, and we're gonna We're going to find out for you. Why doesn't China let foreigners become citizens? That's interesting. Well, almost the same as Thailand doesn't really let its foreigners become citizens. Almost like my wife's country of Lithuania doesn't really let foreigners become citizens. It's a very difficult process. A lot of countries nowadays are very, they have a lot of rules and regulations. Just to give you an example, I'm from one of the Commonwealth countries, but for me to even move and work in the United Kingdom is next to impossible. So it's not just China. There's a lot of countries out there that have strict regulations, and so that's the WeChat Pay. That's a WeChat Pay. I see you, Kurt. That's the WeChat Pay QR code for all our Asian viewers or anyone that has WeChat. We do appreciate that contribution. And I see Kurt has wants to chat. Let's fire away.
You see, I did immigration work for a number of years, so I understand that immigration is based on economics. And places like Canada, the United States, Great Britain, all of these countries that bring in immigrants to their country to do work they're called economic immigrants. They have the skill set, and they have the understanding, the work experience to come in and do a job in that country. And the benefit of doing that is eventually becoming a citizen. In a country like China, they've got all of those skills here. They've got enough people. They don't need more people. Canada is underpopulated. Believe it or not, the United States is underpopulated. They don't have enough people to fill a lot of the high-end jobs. So they bring those people in from other countries, and the benefit of that is citizenship. I'm not sure about the Eastern European countries, but when you get into the Western countries, it's all economics. When you get into China and immigration, they don't need more people. They've got the educated people. They've got the workers. They've got the high-end skilled jobs already covered. So that's probably the main reason why they don't have the citizenship thing out there. Just wanted to put that in.
And I mean, Kurt, but can people get like a permit to live there? I mean, what's the visa situation like? Is it difficult or?
Visas are very simple to get. We're on a visa right now, but before we our what is it? 4 months, 120 days run out. It's I think a 5-year visa that I've got right now, but I'm going to throw that one away and go in and get a resident permit. And the only difference between a resident permit and a visa is that we don't have to leave the country for 2, 3, 4 years when we get it. It's one of those things that you have to have a medical, because if you're in the country for more than 6 months, you have to have a medical, and a resident permit will make it so that you can be in the country for more than 6 months. So medicals have to be done. It's simple. It's just paperwork and paying money. There's nothing to it.
Well, thank you for that, Kurt. I'm going to play a video here. This is one of Nico's latest videos. This is just, you put this up on, I think it was the 27th of April. Maybe describe, I'm going to play about 30 seconds of this video. What's this video all about for the viewers, just before I hit play on it?
This video is what I was telling you about earlier that we did, which is the comparison video for what life is like in Beijing right now. So we filmed it last week, and actually one thing has changed since I filmed it, and that they decided to let the 14-day quarantine, they decided to lift it, I think a few days ago, just before because this weekend's the May holiday. So I was like, oh, we can't travel, 14-day quarantine, and obviously now we can. So that's pretty good, but that's the only thing that's kind of different from it.
I just got a question on my chat room that somebody that gave money to WeChat pages now. This is China. Thank you very much for your contribution. I just gave money on WeChat question. My question is, how can I get on this show one time? Well, guess what? You've just invited yourself on the show. We will talk to the man in charge, Gweilo 60, and we will find a slot for you in an upcoming show. Well done for being recognized. Well done. Okay, I'm going to play this video. And
living in China, is that Jason?
Here we go.
If you're stuck at home right now, I bet the biggest question you're asking yourself is, when will this end? Well, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Can we hear that okay, guys?
Yeah.
It's kind of choppy.
We'll do our best anyway.
During the height of the epidemic here in China, I made some videos to show you what life was actually like here in Beijing. Sadly, the virus has begun devastating other parts of the world. But here in China, life is cautiously returning to normal. Well, kind of. In this video, I'm going to show you what the situation is like 3 months on here in Beijing, and hopefully offer you some light at the end of your isolation tunnel.
And that's all I'm giving you guys. If you want to see the rest of that video, you know where you're going to have to find that on Nico's channel. Joey, Chinese are not good at dreaming. If Chinese saw anything amazing in the dream, he or she would wake up and figure out how to bring it into reality. Basically. Yes. Yeah. We are trying to get Patrick Freeman back on the show, guys. He was so patient waiting for us for about an hour, and then he got on and he had about 5 seconds. His computer crashed. Was that the latest?
That's what he's saying on WeChat right now. He said his computer completely crashed. So I guess he's just rebooting. He said give him a few minutes and he should be ready to come back on. So yeah,
we're gonna stick around for you, Patrick.
I've been through that the last week too. It's maddening.
Wesley, we got a WeChat in here. I just want to end. Hello, Russ. Welcome to the show. Can you bring up the latest WeChat there, Wesley? It's the yellow one there. The red one we've answered. Dr. Death, thank you again. And want to support all 4 of you. Here's the latest tunnel dug finished after 12 years. Could you guys show this page? Please search Danjuan Tunnel in Union dug after 12 years. Wesley, can you help us out with that?
Just give me the thumbs up. Doing. Yeah.
Just thumbs up behind the stage. Okay, thumbs up behind the stage. Oh, is Patrick back?
Computer shouldn't be driving.
I'm not sure if Patrick's back. I think he's still frozen. Oh, Freeman. Okay, well, I don't know what to say there. I'm going to show you then anyway. Well, that's too bad. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit of what Patrick and I got up to when we were in Chongqing. Well, he figures out his computer issue. All of us have had that this week, and we'll come back there. And here we go. Do you guys see that on the screen? Is something on the screen there? We got it? Okay, here we go. Good to meet you, Patrick.
Nice to meet you too.
Good old Texan here.
Yeah.
Where are we? What's going on here?
We are in Chowderman, which is right behind Raffles City, which is this huge new complex. Business building, mall, apartment complex, and behind it is a place where you can go shopping for clothes, Chinese trinkets, you name it. You can find it back here. And they open up very early in the morning, right? And then they close down about 2 o'clock. So 2 or 3 o'clock. So a lot of these shops you'll start to see will close down.
Now these guys look like they are not waiting around for anyone, huh?
No, they're not.
Where do you? And unfortunately, that's all you get. If you want to see the remainder of that video, you know where to find it. Is he there? Do you guys see him? Is he in the corner there?
So he's back in now.
In the WeChat, he said he's almost back. Oh, back now.
You're not taking me out, buddy. I'm coming back.
Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, viewer discretion is advised. Yeah. I think what he's going to do today is he's going to eat maybe some seafood. That's what I think.
Duck heads.
Duck heads. Alex.
Wesley, you had there was something that somebody put something up there. Just so the moderators, we do have some bots filtering our channels. Reminder to our nice, honest people in the chat. We have some spamming hate messages. Please don't feed the trolls. Spread positively. So Wesley, if you could help that, and all our moderators out there, Ken and company, you can time these people out. Don't outright, boot them out and block them and ban them and stuff. But if they keep it up, we kind of have a one strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, you're out till probably next show. Okay, Patrick Freeman, all eyes are on you. And why do you call it funky food with Freeman?
I have to ask. So we got from Gweilo. He said it was what? Gweilo, what did you say it was?
I have no idea. I have a memory of a gnat.
Well, I'm right there with you, buddy.
Oh, a barbecue duck head?
He said barbecue
duck head. Yeah.
Alex, absolute. What do you say?
Bugs. Those fried bugs.
Bugs.
Okay. That's worthy. Nico, what do you say?
I'm not sure.
No. All right.
So I don't really know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to surprise. First of all, I do have to make one political statement because I had the questions about this. This is not a MAGA hat. Okay. This is my Texas Tech University out of Lubbock, Texas, in the United States. So I just want to make that clear. This is my Texas Tech Go hat. Go Raiders, guns up. Got to be very careful about saying guns up in China. So we don't do that here. All right. Okay. Let's start with
do you have a glass of water?
Huh?
Is there a glass of water? Do you have a glass of water? Thank you.
Thank you,
Alex.
Thank you, Washington.
Can you keep that up there, Wesley, for a second? Just want to say thank you, and then we'll get to Patrick. Thank you guys for the talk. Well done. And Patrick, congratulations on becoming monetized and blowing past the thousands of subscribers. Welcome aboard. And with pent-up excitement, one more super chat to say thanks for, and then this one's from Mike. Stop explaining, Gweilo. I saw you walking outside with a beverage bottle filled with Baijiu, pretending to be juice. That's the drunkard way.
That wasn't Baijiu. That was brandy. So get it straight. Brandy and straight.
I saw a Baijiu and orange juice one.
Baijiu and orange juice is actually pretty good. It's like a Baijiu screwdriver. I love that stuff.
Just so what we do with all your WeChat donations, we split them throughout the panel, and definitely we will cover any expenses on whatever Patrick is eating today. So there's the WeChat donation link. Thank you very much for all your contributions. And if you do make a contribution over WeChat, please tell us in any of the forums, whether you're on Nico's channel, Alex Absolute channel, or Gweilo 6 channel, or Reporterfy Media's channel. Let us know. That is greatly appreciated. Without further ado, I'm going to take this, remove this off, and we're going to zoom in on Mr. Patrick Freeman. Do you want to see our facial expressions, or
yes, I would, because I can play into that. I can play into that. It's like a comedy club, you got to have the crowd, the laughing, the interaction. Everybody's drinking. The more you drink, the funnier I get. Thank you very much. Tip your waitresses. Their drugs.
Wesley, help me out here. How do I get rid of? How do I get everybody back here, Wesley? We've got.
He's working on it.
So is that? There we go.
There we go. Oh, wait.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Very good. All right. So first of all, can you guys hear me very well?
Yeah. I hear you fine. I'm just worried.
This is just worried. We need to get one of the tech guys to, like, if it's too just gross and bad, they can just put they can kind of screen it out and then screen it out when I eat it. So, but what is this? This is
tech guy. You're the tech guy. We don't have a virtual hand in front of you.
We need like sound effects, pops, and sirens.
You're the sound guy. You're the sound guy. You're the sound guy. So
I'll start working on it with my mic there. Put that $1,000 mic to use, All right. So what do I have here? This is a quail egg. So I'm doing baby steps first
down.
for the crowd. Baby steps for all the viewers. Quail egg. Now let me show you what it looks like.
My wife and son eat those daily.
Oh yeah, they're actually very tasty.
yeah,
Let me show you what it is, what it looks like. Now these are pickled. Well, they're really not pickled. They're just sealed in a package. This is it's kind of crushed because it's been air sealed. But once you peel it, this is what it looks like. So these are training wheels for the audience. I don't want to gross them out too bad, but we're going to get progressively dangerous with what I eat in the next
training wheels for the audience. Okay, we're off to an interesting start here.
This is like a nipple on a bottle. You know, you don't want to, just a little bit at each time, and then get people acclimated to the grossness, and then really get bad. All right, here we go. So, quail egg, not bad. I will say when you open the package, when you open the sealed package, there is kind of a funk that reaches out at you and says hello.
Do you have a glass of water with you?
Right here.
That's it.
That's it.
I'll probably need some more in just a few minutes. All right. Now this is widely and well known in China, and most Western world knows that Chinese love chicken feet. Chicken feet. Well, it kind of looks like a hobbit finger, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically.
We get hobbits over here in China.
I feel like you should have got the spicy one at least. It would have tasted of.
Well, this actually is spicy. They come with. I actually brought the green pepper that it comes with.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah.
just looks very pale.
Thank you very
I've
much.
had the very red looking ones before.
Oh yeah. Well, this is actually
Someone gave me one once on a chopstick, so I used it to high five people.
So, all right, ready?
Straight in the nail.
Yeah, straight now. Oh.
Someone's called you.
You know what? One thing they do in China, and you see this at restaurants, they do it at home. We'll spit out food. Bones, gristle. If it can't be eaten, we'll just literally on the table. So
it just falls out of the side of your mouth. It's you put it in this side and it falls out this side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a processing plant. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's just starting. So I have 3 things left if we have time. Or how are we doing on time?
Oh, take your time.
All right.
Just while we're doing that, I just want to say thank you to a couple of super chats that have come in. Tim, thank you very much for that, Tim. And Zhengang Zhu, I live in Beijing, but I went to college in the United States. I literally just graduated. I absolutely love your guys' videos, especially now when everything China does will get amplified by 1,000-fold. How true is that? We're here to entertain you, and Patrick Freeman is here to entertain you.
Yeah.
What's cooking, Patrick? Or crawling, or whatever.
Let me give the viewers a choice. I have bird spit. I have pig brain.
That tastes great.
I have pig brain, and I have pig snout. Which one do they want to see me eat first?
What's the first one?
Bird spit.
That's what Wei Fang was drinking it in Thailand there, Alex. You buy it in the 7-Eleven.
So
we got some in the freezer. We got some in the freezer here.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the swallows? Like in Texas, we have swallows.
Yeah,
all parts of U.S. Of course, here they have swallows that build the nest under eaves and houses and buildings. These birds build nests they just spit. Yeah.
It's very, very expensive.
It is.
My wife ate it the whole pregnancy. It is.
I'm just reading it now.
Expensive.
So it looks like everybody wants. It looks like pig snout is the first one they want you to try.
Okay.
We had that for supper the other day. Barbecue Big Nose.
Nico, you okay?
Yeah. Miss Piggy.
Miss
comes
Piggy,
to mind.
dude. Yeah. Look at that. I just had a new Chinese nose job. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think you should wear it for an entire video.
I think so. If you don't want to eat them, they make great Halloween masks. So, and they actually they stick celery in here when you buy it at any of the markets. They usually stick Somehow, I guess it makes it look more attractive if you stick celery inside of a pig nose. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just... All right. So I'm going to take a bite off the tip of his nose. I'm sorry, Porky.
So is this like? Tell me, is this? Can you find this in any? Kurt, do you see?
Yeah.
It's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere. We
Everywhere.
we had it for supper the other night. Barbecue pig nose. You saw in my wet market, there's a farmer's market on steroids. The thumbnail. It's got a whole bunch of barbecue pig noses, and that turns people off. Actually, it's pretty good. I like it.
Mm-hmm. It is, and you can buy it at grocery stores. There's markets that have it. Those little stands outside on the street. They sell it.
Yeah.
You know why? What's funny is why you guys were, while I was in the green room in the back waiting to come on, I was playing with it, and I figured out that you can actually stick your finger in there and it comes out the other end.
Yeah, you're playing with your food.
Yes, I'm a 50-year-old man and I still play with my food. So, all right, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, that crunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
I'm chewing in the microphone for effect.
Is it cold?
Yeah, it's a little cold.
I
like
guess
cold
so.
meat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cold is okay.
Mm-hmm. What they actually do is you don't eat it like this. I did obviously for the show, but they do it in small slices. So
Yeah, they slice it up for you.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I would eat a slice. I wouldn't want to just chomp
You
on
look
the end.
disgusted, Nico.
I would try a slice if it was sliced, but just chomping on the end of the nose, that's not my.
Well, all the boogers have been cleaned out, so we're good.
Yeah.
They get boiling out.
We
It's
have
just-
something here in Wento called a local delicacy called guahasia, which is raw crab. Just raw crab and a bunch of spices and vinegars. It's absolutely delicious.
No,
So what's the next one, Patrick?
Next one. All right, we'll vote here. I'll let you guys choose bird spit or pig brain.
Let's go
Pig
with pig brain.
Pig brain. All right. So we actually we went out and ate last night, and on our way home we stopped
The
by
pig's brain home.
and we picked up some pig brain to go.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah,
That's in a hot sauce, eh?
yeah. It's a little spicy. It's got the red peppers in there. Look at that.
I mean,
What's the matter,
so
Nico?
the thing for me is like when it looks like that looks like a nose, like the chicken feet with it's got this little nail on.
Uh-huh.
But I've eaten it before. But you see that doesn't look like brain. If it looked like a big solid brain, that
Well, it
I
kinda
probably
fell
wouldn't eat it. But
apart.
I would eat that. I would try it.
Let me get.
So that's
I'll
a
put it
little
little
off.
close. There. You got
Yeah, I would probably try it.
All right. You ready?
Ready?
Get
Tell me
on
if it
it.
tastes different from my classic BLT sandwich or my clubhouse sandwich with fries.
Yeah. I would say it's a far reach from being anything comparable. There's really not. I've had it before. People eat it like this, or they actually put it in hot pot. And
Right.
Let it cook for like 15, 25 minutes, and you eat it. And here we go. I'm just kidding. It's good.
Fantastic.
What it tastes like.
There's no fantastic sound.
What it tastes like is it tastes like a really light tofu, and it obviously when you cook it and whatever the spices are, which is we've got red peppers in here, you got Sichuan peppers, a little bit of chili oil, and it soaks up that flavor.
We're breaking up.
So, I mean, we're covering food, and we'll come back to Patrick in a second here. So, what we're trying to do here today is it's quite interesting that Patrick has a Chinese girlfriend. The rest of the panel, Gweilo, is married for how many years? 17 years to a Chinese lady.
Here's August 29th. Oh, and when we met on August the 1st of 2003. August the 14th of 2003, we were already in Canada. And August the 29th of 2003, 29 days later, we got married.
Ah,
How's that?
Cute.
And 17 years later, we're still fighting it out.
So, when we're traveling to these countries, it's easy for, as foreigners to go and get a meal at McDonald's or something like that. And what we're trying to display here to the viewers is we're trying to venture in new things, try new food, try new drinks, many new things of these cultures. We find it fascinating. Some of this food has been eaten for generations after generations after generations. Some of it's quite tasty. I tried hot pot for the first time, about 4 or 5 months ago. Didn't know what I was getting into, but absolutely love it and crave it now. And, so what China has done to me is it's really opened up, my, I guess my palate for food. Here's an interesting comment for the palate here. AK, actually, they're making fun of what some Chinese people eat. Kind of reminds me of the two other guys on the motorcycles. Interesting, Gweilo. What do you think of that comment?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody here is like the people on the motorcycles. I think what you're seeing is that the Chinese are that they eat everything because they don't waste anything. So when they're eating pig brain, they say, well, okay, well, this has got protein and nutrients in it. How can we prepare this so it's going to taste good and people will like it? And they do. You see, they find a way. And the other guys would say, oh, those disgusting people eat pig brains. So there's a difference there. If you can see it, AK, yeah. I know you make some comments on my channel on an ongoing basis, and some are good and some are derogatory. Everybody's got their opinion. Thanks for yours.
I think that's the same in every country, though. Like, there's stuff that people find really weird. I didn't really realize it until recently, and like a lot of my colleagues, they've worked where they were studying in the UK, and there's loads of stuff that they didn't try or didn't like to try because they thought it was weird as well. And I was like, oh, really? I would have thought you would have liked that, or I would have thought you would have tried it. And I think it just kind of, every culture is different. And I think that's one of the fun things is going to a new place and trying new foods, especially because I would try some of these things. Like I said, I prefer if it doesn't look exactly like animals, but that's just my personal opinion on it. But
I think if anybody knows this panel, we are a panel that is quite open to trying new and interesting things, and it's quite fun for us to explore. I know every time I go to China, my wife, she will eat anything. And when we took her to the hot pot restaurant in Chongqing on one of our videos, she went for it. And, doing this thing on YouTube and carrying these things with the audience, it really has expanded my palate for food. And having Gweilo come stay with me for a while started to expand what I like to eat. And China is absolutely fascinating when it comes to food, and it's extraordinary. And we enjoy bringing it on the show to show viewers that it's interesting. So, Patrick, what have you got left?
Sorry, just interrupt a second, guys. I have to depart now. So
thank you very much, Alex, for coming out. Everybody,
thanks for being on the show, Alex.
Usual, great show. Just quick thank you to Freya for the super sticker. Thank you very much. And have a fun rest of the show, guys. Patrick, I'm gonna catch up with your funky food afterwards.
And Alex, Alex, just so you know that there is some music played on this feed here. I'm not sure if you're an Epidemic subscriber, but there's some music played on the feed, so you might want to unlist your video just so you don't get a...
I'm an Epidemic commercial. I have a commercial subscription. So
okay, then you're fine on that. I don't know if you do.
Anyway, guys, have a good rest of your show. Peace out.
Thanks, Alex.
Peace out, brother.
Thank you very much.
Later, Alex. Thanks.
Later.
Okay, so Patrick, what have you got? We're ready.
All right, before I eat the bird spit here, I will say, as far as not like a disclaimer, or you had mentioned that person that thought we were upsetting or making fun of Chinese. That's not at all what I'm doing. I love Chinese food. My girlfriend Tui, we were up in we're down in Nanchuan, and we were having some black chicken, and it was excellent. It's like the best chicken I've ever eaten. And she says, "You like everything that you eat that's Chinese food?" And I said, I love it. And she called me a jidan, which is an egg. So an egg is white on the outside. And I actually said it in one of my videos. I'm white on the outside, but I'm yellow in the inside. I love Chinese food just as much as probably a lot of Chinese people. I'll eat stuff that Chinese people won't eat. So it's not, I'm making fun of anybody. It's I'm taking it to a more entertainment level of the Western world's fascination with eating food that is not normally on their diet. And I take it to the nth degree. So we're just having some fun here. That's all I'm doing. So little disclaimer there.
Let's have a look what you got left. This is so popular, this item
okay.
that you're bringing up, huh? Everybody loves this thing.
They sell it at 7-Eleven in a drink in Thailand. My wife was buying them 100 baht a day just for bird spit.
It's everywhere here, and I got to try some of this stuff.
Okay, now the best way, and Sui actually prepared some for me, is you boil some water. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know what she put in it. I know she put the bird spit in there, and it dissolves after 10 or 15 minutes. But I'll drink this first. It's sweet. She put some sugar in there, so you don't actually taste it at all. And then and I know Chinese don't do this, but because I'm a rebel and like to do things a little bit differently, I'm just going to eat a little chunk of bird spit.
Okay.
Ready? You know what they say about this? They say it's good for ovaries.
Really?
Yeah, it's good for the female parts, body parts. So for some
maybe
reason,
some of our viewers can also tell us what foods they find quite interesting in China that we might not know about. Maybe you guys could comment in the comment box, and we can look into some stuff that bring it up on one of our upcoming shows.
There's a ton of different food. I mean, we could do episode after episode of funky foods and you have different provinces, you have different ways they prepare food. So I mean, you could do stuff for years on the different funky foods here, but everything that I've had, the only thing that I don't like is there's a cantaloupe. I don't know if it's an Asian cantaloupe, but it's very bitter, it's green. I don't like it. Other than that, everything that I've had here is very tasty. Very tasty.
So, Patrick, thank you very much for sharing that with us today. And you're going to be coming on one of our upcoming shows here in the future. We ran a little bit past our time slot today, so we're going to round up this show here in a couple of minutes. Just want to thank you to everybody that has donated by WeChat Pay. We'll put that link up one more time for you. And thanks to all the super chat people that have come in. And it was such a pleasure to have Nico on the show tonight, and Patrick dropping in with the funky food with Freeman and Gweilo. So from me this week, you guys will be seeing more videos coming out on Chongqing, and my plane ticket to China is booked already. My visa is ready to go to return, and we're just waiting on the last process for them to open the doors. Good news that Beijing's got rid of the quarantine. Gweilo, 20 seconds. Nico, 20 seconds. Patrick, 20 seconds. Then we're going to round it up for our awesome audience. Go ahead, Gweilo.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that supporting my channel and everybody's channel out there. Make sure that you subscribe to Nico's channel, Patrick's channel, Alex Absolutes, and Reporterfy Media's channel. This is very important for the YouTube channels to get the support, the subscribers. Like their channels, make comments on their channels. It's really good for the algorithms, and it helps these channels grow. As pro-China YouTubers, we have an uphill battle against the multi-million-dollar mainstream medias out there. We try to tell it how it is in China by living in China and understanding China from the point of view of being sort of locals in this little world. We our bubble type thing in China. But we can't do it without your support. We can't do it without your subscribing, your comments, your likes, and make sure that everybody out there that's watching, hit that subscribe button for everybody on the panel today. It's important. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Kurt. Nico, 20 seconds with you. Your first time on the live stream.
Yeah, no, I had a really good time. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate everybody's comments, and I'm sorry I've not been able to reply to them, but I can't access my YouTube at the same time. So thanks for your support and donations, and I really appreciate it. This week, I'm going to release a video on Monday to tell you guys why I moved to China. So maybe you guys want to watch that and see more of my videos. So yeah, thanks for this. I had a really good time.
Okay, thank you very much, Nico. Patrick, 20 seconds to you, sir.
First of all, thank you for having me, Alex. I have to, I thank my subscribers and the comments and just all the support and encouragement they give me. But kind of behind the scenes, what you don't see is the amount of effort that you've put into helping me grow my channel. So I really want to let you know I really appreciate it. You've made a huge difference. And Gweilo and both you guys having me on the show has been an absolute privilege, and I'm very grateful and thankful for it.
Our pleasure. And thank you very much, Wesley, for putting out the links to everybody's channel. We are going to have an interesting topic next week. We got Blondie and China coming on the show next week. Gyo Nations, Gweilo 60, myself, and another secret guest coming on next week's show. It's going to be fueled. That is for certain. So from all of us on this panel, we thank you very much. Go ahead, Gweilo. You have something to say?
Do we have to keep the next week person private or a secret, or do you just spurt it out there? No, let's keep it secret. You're right.
We're going to keep it secret. Thank you guys for the last minute super chats. And from all of us here in Asia, thank you. Good night, good afternoon, and good morning for wherever you are. It's been a pleasure. We enjoy every single second of it. Thank you guys. Wesley, take us out of there. Goodbye.